Okay, hi, this is Shola, and in this really quick video, I'm going to walk through how you, as a self-funded startup founder and a digital entrepreneur, hoping to make use of the concept of masterminds, can indeed employ what is done at the venerable HBS through the use of case studies. So, the case study method in your mastermind. And I'm going to talk through how often, from my own experience, how you can often get it wrong when you're trying to do a mastermind. But before I get started, let me just walk through some core concepts in case you're new here. So, um, there are three big ideas that I um, talk about on these daily videos. One is the whole idea of hashtag SFA, which is funnel anatomy. And the whole idea with that is that we apply one of the biggest ideas in science, specifically biology, anatomy, to our online distribution and online customer acquisition and online sales funnel systems. And that's the idea that if you take a large system and you break it down to its individual parts, okay, then you can better understand it, and you can also fix it when it's when something goes wrong. And that's basically the big idea behind optimization, fixing a funnel when it goes wrong. Most rookies think that you spend a lot of time tweaking your marketing campaign, doing everything you can to make the logo right, to make the sales copy right, and then you launch. Okay. But pros know that you do the minimum, you launch, and then you let the feedback from the market help you optimize. So that's hashtag SFA. Second big concept is this whole idea of BDAD, build digital assets daily. And this is a commitment to looking at a day as consisting of 1,440 minutes and committing to making sure you spend at least 1% of that day, which is approximately 14 minutes. So we round it up and say 15 minutes to producing like more content um, than you consume. And the whole vision is that you want to get it to the point where, let's say you consume a lot of content on Facebook, or better yet, YouTube. Every month you log in on YouTube and it'll show you how much time you spend on YouTube. And then you want to log into your YouTube studio account, and you want to make sure that the time other people spent consuming your videos is higher than the time you spent consuming other people's video. Last big idea is hashtag KPIs matter. And the whole idea is that what gets measured gets absolutely improved. You can take anything in your business, and I guarantee you that when you start measuring it, not just on a weekly basis, but on a daily basis, it's going to improve. And the reason why it's going to improve is because it's going to become literally impossible for you to lie to yourself. It's the one reason why we can't lie to ourselves, for instance, with what's in our bank account, because it's measured on a daily and weekly basis. If you go to an ATM and you pull out a receipt, you can't lie to yourself because the bank has measured exactly how much you got into it. So that's the big idea around that. Okay. Now, originally I had planned to discuss something involving case studies and differentiation, and I'll get to that to another day. But I think it's better to do this video as a backdrop to those future videos to come. So watch out for that. So, one of the things I observe is that a lot of people, this whole concept of an online mastermind is big in certain circles. And the challenge with how many masterminds are run is that you have people with Frankenstein. It's like a Frankenstein setup. And by Frankenstein, I just mean you have people who have three or four different types of funnels, and they're following three or four different systems, or you want to call it guru influences, and you bring everybody together, and you really um, you you're confused because one person is doing it one way and the other person is doing it the other. From experience, I can tell you, and I want to give a hat tip to Charles No. We've had a few email exchanges, and Charles, if you're listening, I think you got some really great content um, on the internet about masterminding. And the whole idea is that you want to. I've been involved in mastermind for in various forms since 2013, and I can tell you that the best mastermind that as I can think of, is that you want to focus on, you really want to focus on the setup, okay, that is really similar to the case method, and it says, how can how can you really extract the most value out of case study um, in the use of masterminds. It says, often executives of products discover that the objective of a case study is not to reach consistent, but to understand, and this is so important, how different people use the same information to arrive at diverse conclusions. Okay, this is so important. The problem with most masterminds is that they're not looking at the same information, right? You might have one person who's trying to build an e-com funnel, another person who's trying to build a digital product funnel, another person who's trying to build a services funnel, another person who's trying to build a event funnel. And so you bringing all these people together and they're talking about 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different concepts. The best use of the 80/20 use of a mastermind can be likened to what happens when you bring 3 or 4 different waves together. They're on the same wavelength, you amplify the sound. And so what I'm saying to you is that, having made mistakes in the past when it comes to mastermind, I can tell you that one of the things that can really up the value that you get from masterminds is if you are following either the same business model or the same, for lack of a better phrase, curriculum, right? So let's just say you decided that you wanted to form a mastermind on the online business. That's too general, right? Then you want to get more specific and say, okay, we're going to form an online mastermind about generating traffic. Okay, that is getting somewhere, but it's still a little bit like too general. All right, the best way to think about doing it would be to consider going several levels down. So not just online business and not just traffic, but let's just say the Google Ads. And if you want to get even really general, more general, you would say the display network, because there are many ways you can buy traffic on Google. This display network, search, YouTube, okay, and then even better, let's just say everybody is going to be following. Let's just say everybody resonates with I don't know. Um, Okay, I'll give a really great example. There's a fellow named Mike Rhodes who's really established a specialty when it comes to applying machine learning in the Google AdWords media buying space. So let's just say that you decided that everybody for 3 months, 3 to 6 months, was going to follow the best practices of this particular person when it came to buying ads on the Google Display Network and leveraging machine learning or AI. Okay, and there, let's just say it was um a 3 video, okay, um course on that, okay, that you had all gone through together. There is massive value in every week coming together and looking at the same curriculum, if you will, the same content, but seeing it from different perspectives. Now I want you to juxtapose that to a situation where you got, let's say, 5 people meeting in a mastermind. One person is driving traffic through Pinterest, another one is driving traffic through Pinterest ads, another one is driving traffic through Google search ads, another person is driving traffic through Facebook. Okay, another person is driving traffic through Snapchat ads, another person is driving traffic through LinkedIn ads. All those people coming together. Some people are doing search, other people are doing display. Maybe somebody's just focused on mobile, and then and tie that together. You have not only 5 different traffic sources, all right, but you got 3 different business models. Let's say ecom, all right. You have ecom, services, and digital products. What's happening now is that you got freaking, every time you meet together, you're talking about 15 different things, and there's no depth. Now compare that, as I said, to a situation where everybody in your group has the same business model, and you're using the same traffic source, and you're using the same best practices. You can imagine, just like a Harvard case study or class, after 3 months, when you have had the benefit of depth, when you had the benefit of reading the same thing and having three different perspectives, you are just going to have so much more mastery. Now, I also want to give homage, if you will, if you're in a state, you say homage to Kosh, the author of the 80/20 principle, who really helped to shape the way I go about consuming and executing on uh, content and best practices. You see, a lot of people might read 10 books, right? But few people read one book 10 times. And I guarantee you, the person who's read one book 10 times has so much more mastery than the person that has read 10 books, even if it's on the same subject only once. And so I want to encourage you to think about this new way of thinking about masterminding, where number one, you're following the same curriculum. Number two, ideally, you're following the same business models. And number three, you benefit from week in and week out looking at the same information, but having different perspectives. A great way of looking at it is imagine yourself in the middle of a circle. And if you are looking at, if somebody is looking at you um, from different points along that circle, you're just going to have such a bigger, all encompassing view of what's going on than if everybody is looking at things from four or five different angles. So, just to round things out, definitely think about having someone that's the equivalent of your classmate at a HBS um, in an HBS setting, and I just randomly pick HBS. Other schools are really well known for the case method, but many people would consider this institution the global leader when it comes to training the next generation of leaders, if you will, in the case method. And I'm speaking to you as someone that has done these masterminds um, since 2013. And had I do it all, I've only learned through trial and error the benefit of focus when it comes to masterminds. Okay, this is Shola. Take care and take action. Remember, these videos are all about the what I call the P4, focusing on your adding more passion and um, productivity, okay, and ultimately enjoying more profits to the mix. All right, this is Shola. Take care and take action.